they have to have elite exclusives to keep people on PlayStation and Xbox. And regardless, like consoles are going to be cheaper than PCs. $600 looks a lot better than $1,500. Most parents just want to go to a store or go on Amazon. Here's a PS5, click buy. This PS5, oh, you can play Call of Duty on this for $600, but you can also play Call of Duty on a PC for $1,500. Why would you get a PC? That's what they're thinking in their head. I would say those are the advantages, the exclusives and the price. The price point will always be less than a PC, especially right now.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 281 of the COD Casuals podcast. We're your host, Mike.
I'm Justin.
Justin, it's good to see you. How you doing?
I'm good. For people that don't know, I was away on vacation for about a week. I don't really think I talked about it the last couple episodes. So
no.
For people that don't know, yeah, I mean, I'll shout it out. Discord, I was very MIA, so if you're in the Discord, you're probably wondering, where the heck is Justin? Yeah, I've been gone for a whole week. I was on vacation in Yellowstone and Grand Teton National Parks. So, and either way, there was no service out there. It was insane, but also great at the same time.
Because it's probably like a mega disconnect being out there where you could just go and truly enjoy what you're there for, and there's no temptation anywhere.
Yeah, like when you're in the park, either parks, literally no reception. Like once you drive in, you can't do anything on your phone, which it was really nice. Some people probably think it's stressful because, oh, what if you get lost or stuff like that, which of that I can understand, but you just got to prepare going into it. But it was a really good vacation. Nice week off. Got to disconnect from literally everything. Major 4 happened. Didn't get to watch that at all. And I had no chance to watch it because, no Wi-Fi or anything.
You're not going to go pull up the matches while you're at Yellowstone. That's a bad look,
No.
even if you could do that.
Yeah, I know that Optic won because you texted me about it. But other than that, I know they played Thieves in the finals. That's really it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely talk about it towards the end because there was a lot of things to take away from the major, and I'm sure most people watching, the main qualifiers that go throughout the week and throughout the the split or whatever. But this was a huge tournament, and I just thought it was great. Of all the times that you're going to be away, it's like one of the biggest, if not the biggest, event that Call of Duty has ever hosted ends up going down. And it was exactly how, I know you and I would have wanted it to go, minus Boston winning, which gotta be realist, wasn't going to happen. But no, we were recording right now. It's the 4th of July. So by the time people hear this, again, happy 4th. Hope you had a good 4th. Hopefully you kept all your fingers because, can go bad on the 4th. But but now it's been, it's been probably 2 weeks or so since we ended up chatting and recording. There's just been a whole bunch of stuff that's gone on. There's been a lot with Call of Duty, with Modern Warfare 4. I think it's been pretty quiet regarding that. But in the gaming realm, there's been 2 main things that have happened. And they're both kind of linked to one another, which I mainly wanted to talk about today. The first thing being Grand Theft Auto. I know COD Casuals, but we got to talk about this because this is a massive deal, I think, for the future of gaming. And honestly, I think for Call of Duty and really any game out there is, would you see any of this news that came out regarding the pre-orders for this game and the price and whatnot?
No. So for everyone listening, I haven't seen anything. Nothing about any news, even video games. For people that are listening, I literally hopped off a flight, was in Wyoming. Now I'm back home and drove back recording the pod. So literally for a whole week, I have no idea what has happened. I disconnected off of planet Earth. So don't know anything about GTA. Don't know anything about COD. So
yeah, there's been 2 big things. The first one relating to GTA is that the pre-orders are now available, which I got to say too, before I even get into the whole thing, I don't know how you feel about this, but I even feel this way with Call of Duty too, is the fact that pre-orders right now are available for GTA 6 and for Modern Warfare 4. I think that's crazy that you can pre-order those games already when we haven't actually gotten a gameplay trailer.
Mhm.
You know, like there's nothing for Grand Theft Auto right now where you see actual gameplay going down or like POV gameplay. And yeah, Call of Duty, you could say like, oh, we have seen some stuff, but we haven't really seen a true gameplay trailer go down. And the fact that you can pre-order these games, I think is a little sketch already. Like I'm in that camp. I don't see any reason why you should pre-order a game until I actually see gameplay. Now, Call of Duty, of course, like we're gonna get it anyway, but the pre-orders opened up for GTA, and I mean everybody went crazy. I have not pre-ordered this. There's no reason to. It's not going anywhere because there's two things that are related to it. One is that there's going to be no disc for this game.
Mhm.
Okay. It's just going to be all digital. You can go and buy the case for the game and get like a physical case for it, but inside is just a code. So
Mm.
there's no discs, as far as to my knowledge, that are being made for this game. And then the real thing is that they debuted it's $80. It's not the 70, so we've gone up to 80. But the craziest shit with this is that at 80, what they've shown is that that's like the standard edition. And there's things that are in the game, like regarding customization, like Los Santos Customs or certain salons, like or haircut or like clothing stores, anything like that. That if you buy the standard version, you don't get it. They then
Mm.
have the next tier, which is like their ultimate or definitive edition, which is $100, which includes everything in the game. And it has certain side quests that are not going to be in there for $80. So basically, it seems like $100 is what the game is actually valued at and what is going to include everything. Whereas if you buy the 80, yeah, you have the game, but there's still things missing. They haven't specified as to what length that is. Um, but this definitely left a lot of people with a bad taste in their mouth, and myself included. So I want to know what you think about
Hmm.
this. Go for
Well,
it.
one, the digital thing, I mean, that's interesting. It's I'm assuming a way to save money, right? They don't need to make actual physical discs and have those manufactured and like shipped out or whatever. Which that's a shame, mainly because you don't own now. You really don't own the game. Granted, do you really own the game when you pre-order and buy it? I don't know, but I guess now you really won't own the game. You just get the cover art or whatever, if you really want that to collect it. So that one's interesting. I guess that's not the biggest deal for most people nowadays, I would say, because you and I, we just download every single game we get. We have the disc versions of the PS5, but I mean, I don't even own a single PS5 disc game. I don't even remember the last time I went into the store to buy a game, physical copy. So
Right.
I get that's not the end of the world for me. It does suck for collectors, I guess. Um, but the $80 to $100 thing, I wonder. I'm assuming that doesn't include online. Like this is just the campaign itself, right? The $80 is the standard edition, and the $100 is, I guess, technically should be the standard edition, the full game with like other stuff. That one's interesting because it's not like other games haven't done this. Like COD has done this before, where you get the game at $60 and then or $70 now, and then you get like operator skins and like other bundles and stuff. But that stuff is usually cosmetics,
Right.
so that doesn't really matter. But then there's trying to think of story games. Assassin's Creed is a good one where you get the story like for the standard edition, and then you get extra missions if you pay for the next edition or whatever. Um, but that's like so weird in GTA because hair salons and I don't know what like other stores. I'm assuming that you
Like
would
car
want in the
mod
game.
shops and stuff like that.
Yeah, like that's part of GTA. So you would want that stuff in the game. And if you get the standard edition and that you're not able to go to any of those stores or anything within the campaign, that doesn't make any sense.
So the way they have it advertised, and I think there's still a lot of like ambiguity around it because they they've said it on there. There's certain shops that they put down on the bottom only available through purchase of the $100 edition of the game. Um, but they don't say if it's just one shop. Like say for example, there's a car mod shop, you know, or like a Los Santos Customs from GTA 5. It's like no one's really sure yet if they're talking about just a specific location that maybe has unique stuff that you can't get, or they're talking every shop that is
Mm.
related to that you can't get access to. Which if it is like the more extreme side of it, I think that's insane that they're going to be locking stuff behind this. And I think partly too, the way I can only imagine that they made this choice because they were scared to go and put this game at $100 off rip because
Mhm.
that's such a jump in price for games. Like everything is $70 right now for the most part. Um, Jumping up to 80 for this game, most people could understand that and try to justify it. And I think even still at $100, most people would justify that. But I think that they had to have had talks with investors and with other people involved in it being like, yeah, going for 100 just off rip for the base game is not going to be like a lot of people buying the game are not going to be interested off rip when they see that. But when they frame it this way for $80 you're missing stuff, they
Mhm.
kind of leave most people with no choice, which I think is really it's kind of screwy that they went about it this way.
Yeah, I mean, not knowing what they actually mean between the eighty
Right.
dollars and $100 version, that's right. That's the FOMO that we feel. It's like I'd imagine it's okay. There's one custom car shop or whatever that you wouldn't get in the $80 edition versus a $100 edition, and that shop has specific parts and whatever that you can only get in the $100 version. But and they're, I guess, not praying, but the people that have FOMO like us, because me hearing it, I'm just gonna go and jump and get the $100 version. Obviously, I mean,
Right.
GTA 6 is gonna be insane. I'm fortunate enough that I can just drop $100 on a game. But if you do really think about it, 100 when you look at a game, 3 digits for a game is that's insane.
Yeah.
3 digits for just a game, um, and again, not seeing any gameplay or knowing what is you know clear versus like unclear. We just don't know. Um, Very interesting tactic because I wonder who's just gonna buy the $80 version.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what like who's going to be doing it because the way they're advertising it right now, I mean, most people are assuming that this is going to be like a big gap between the 80 to $100. And again, they're kind of just forcing you down that route. Where yeah, if you want to play it for 80, sure and buy it, but um, it's not going to be the full game. Yeah, and nobody at this level and height of excitement for the game, no one wants to be experiencing 90% of it.
Mm.
Um, but I just think the way that they're going about this is very strange. A lot of people were not happy with this. And then tied with the fact that it is only digital. I just thought it was funny that there are like, pre-orders are available right now. I'm like, who really gives a shit about pre-ordering this game? It doesn't come out for months, and it's not like you really get like you have to pre-order right now. You could pre-order tonight or you could pre-order 2 weeks from now and it's the exact same. You're not really missing out on anything. But it is a shame that they're going down that route of digital too for it. Because I feel like with GTA 6 with and we've talked about this before with a lot of games where it's really upsetting that they don't lean into these versions of the game, like doing steelbook versions or doing really creative, like ultimate editions or whatever they want to call it. I feel for this game, they haven't said anything about it yet. I'm assuming there is nothing tied to it, but I feel like for this game, they could have gone crazy with some cool additions that would have been really nice to have available. But instead, you're just getting a code.
Yeah, I mean, I saw. I'm assuming there are rumors of steelbook editions, and you can, yeah, you pre-order the steelbook, and you don't get the game, you get the code. But
It's just so
I
weird.
yeah, I don't know if that's actually true or not. It could have just been a rumor. But yeah, I mean, am I surprised that Rockstar's doing this because they made so much money off of GTA 5? I mean, not really. I don't really put it past any developer at this point, seeing what what they do. But uh, I just want to know more. I'll have to do my own research after this, but between the $80 and the $100 version of the game, because yeah, I mean, I'm not really the type of person to pre-order a game right away until I see gameplay. Then yes, or when you pre-order, you actually get some type of value, like Call of Duty. Regardless, we'll be able to play the campaign early. That's like a huge value add in my opinion. And there's a beta. That's like the big thing. I get to get my hands on the game early if I pre-order and I can experience it. And
Yeah.
hopefully that provides feedback to the developer and they can change whatever before the game actually launches. With this GTA 6, we're kind of just hoping that the game's going to be phenomenal. But I'm assuming it will be, right? But what else are we going to get out of it before the game launches, you know?
Yeah, and you're not just getting stuff that's already in the game. Instead of what they're
Mhm.
doing for the base version, they're just pulling stuff out.
Yeah.
Which is that's what it sounds like. Um, yeah, and with Call of Duty, I mean, they've got all the skins, like I saw with the Reznov pack and all these things that people joke about. Yeah, I don't care about any of that stuff. Cosmetically, doesn't really mean anything to me. I don't pay attention to it. It's more just the fact that if I'm going to pre-order that game, I do get all the amenities that you listed, and those are way more important to me. Um, and yeah, you're not paying more than $70 to go and pre-order it. It's just the base game. You're getting it off rip. If you want to go and try to justify any of the hardened editions or anything beyond that Call of Duty has, that's a different story. I think some of those, may be worth it and some of them not. But in all my time of playing Call of Duty, I don't think I know I've never bought any higher tier version of the game other than just the base. Because they never really offer you anything that is that spectacular. And again, when you start creeping up on a Call of Duty game in particular, if we're getting $90, $100 for that game, I think that's a bit extreme.
Oh, yeah.
I like GTA 6 is going to be probably one of the only games in my life that I will base pay $100 for. And I think it's the only game probably, I mean, knock on wood, who knows? It's the only game that I can ever imagine myself paying that for, knowing it's worth it. Even Call of Duty, I love COD, but if COD became $100, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think these developers just or publishers have to understand that it varies from game to game. I mean, the Call of Duty culture is so different. They can't drop a game for $100. They just can't. So many people would stop playing the game. I mean, current state right now, a lot of people don't even play COD anymore. So if they dropped a game now that was $100 base, people aren't buying it. GTA, I mean, Rockstar set a precedent and shown in history that their games have been great. It takes forever for them to make the game, so everyone's banking on history and their track record of why this game is should be $100. So I mean, yeah, am I going to pre-order it? Yeah, I mean, once I see gameplay of it, but when I pre-order games, I like to know that I'm getting something out of it beforehand. Um, and obviously, yeah, when you pre-order, you get to download the game right away. Well, at launch or whatever. But yeah, in COD, you get the beta and you get um, the early campaign access, which that's enough for me. But COD understands that's what they can do. GTA, if you're taking the whole base game away from me from like the $80 version, that's just messed up. Which I don't think Rockstar's that dumb to do that. So yeah,
Yeah, and that's the question that a lot of people need answered right now is to what level are they talking about where there are shops that are going to be absent in the base model of the game? Is it only going to be, 5 to 10 shops total, or is it going to be like a whole range? You know, that's the main thing that people need answered. And I think at this current time, there isn't really an answer for it. I mean, shit, like we're saying, we haven't gotten actual gameplay of it even yet. So it's kind of hard to say what's to be expected with it. But I wanted to touch too on your point before regarding Call of Duty, like not being able to do that, like charge $100 for the game, which I totally agree. I think that's the a big topping or big talking point that came out of this is the fact that everybody kind of knew this was going to be more than $70, and now that it's looking like the base is $100, and just they moved up to 80 for like the real base. Um, what kind of impact that's going to have on the rest of the gaming world? Like, are a lot of these developers going to be looking at that and trying to see a way that they can get away with charging $80, or are they more just they're going to sit back and they're not really going to touch that because that's a really dangerous game to be playing? I'm not really sure, but I want to see what you think about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think as a publisher and developer, you should know that what your game's actually worth. Meaning, yeah, you may create a fantastic game, but the $70 price point for a game already nowadays is high for everyone. Like even $60. We grew up being used to $60 games are the standard, and that was a lot. Um, Bumping it up to 80, yeah, you can always say, yeah, it's only $10 more, but that's a problem when everybody just says that and agrees with it, because $80 for a whole game, this game better be fantastic. You and I, we are already picky about the games that we play. I mean, we've the last game we played, Split Fiction, that was a $30 game, full price, way better than like COD campaigns. Granted, you're comparing like apples to oranges, but I'm just saying, price point wise, we're paying half of what we paid for uh, Black Ops 7, and we get a fantastic campaign versus BO7. The campaign was just not good. So,
Yeah, I think that if they end up going down the route of like incrementally trying to, just bump up the price, it's going to be kind of what people already did now when we went from 60 to 70, where you just get used to it. But I would imagine too that there would be enough of like an uproar and rage
mhm.
if all of a sudden we started seeing way more games pop up at $80 and like maybe even going higher than that, because yeah, they're just not worth it. I mean, I over the time that you've been away, I went and I pulled trig. I went and bought that 007 First Light game,
Mhm.
paid the $70 for it. It's like, all right, let's fucking see how this game, because that game has gotten glowing reviews and everything. And I'm like probably 20 minutes away from beating it. I'm pretty sure I'm on the last part of the game. But I'll say it's been great. Like, it's a really good game. And it's nice to see a game and a developer that actually fucking tried. you know, like it's safe there was Split Fiction. There's some of these games that come out and I see them, people joke about them, and it's just it leaves a bad taste in my mouth for gaming in the future of it. But then I see a game like First Light come out, where people are talking about it all the time, and I just don't really know because it's a single player game and it seems pretty linear, or just you can't really trust critics. But after playing the game now, I mean, this is just my first time trying to finish it. It's very good. I can totally see the hype. Would I pay $80 for that game? No, no.
Mhm.
Like, and even would I charge 70? I that's where it's hard to say, because it's that type of game. I mean, it really depends on like what kind of player you are. That game it's pretty linear. It's a great experience. Um, but I guess that just comes down to personal preference. How much do you really love that game? But I think a lot of developers, again, and I'm pretty sure I tweeted about this a long time ago. There's a lot of developers that think that they're making the next GTA 6, and they're just not. I would imagine that most people, and I know I would, just vote with your wallet. If you're going to see people or seeing developers that are charging higher prices, like you're going to see 2K is going to be coming out at 80, $90. I would hope that most people just wouldn't buy the game and say, yeah, that's bullshit. Like, I'm not going to be paying that. You're not going to take advantage of me just because of this one, you know, as a random game, but this random occurrence where, yeah, we can justify higher than 70. But everybody else, like, we need to stay at 70, I think, for a very, very long time.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna ask, like, is that game to you? Was that worth $70? Is that
No.
a $70 game to you, or is this like a $50, $60 game to you?
Yeah, I'd say it's more 50 to 60. Yeah. Like, and it's not because it's a bad game.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's good. There's nothing wrong with it. But I just think about how much I'm gonna put into this game personally.
Mhm.
I'm probably gonna beat it this one time. Maybe I'll play it again, but not right after this. Like, I'm just gonna play it the one time, and that'll probably be it. There's nothing to, there's nothing to grind for. There's nothing like I was even thinking of some game like Resident Evil where you can go and upgrade everything and do all these different runs. Like, that game could be worth, I think it was 70 when it came out, pretty sure. That game's worth it. This game, it's like if you go for challenges in the game or you maybe want to play it on a harder difficulty. I think there's only one other hard difficulty after just the baseline, maybe another one. Um, but beyond that, like with replayability, yeah, there's not really much you could do, you know? So to me, it comes off very linear. And when it's a very linear game to me, the 50 to 60 is like the sweet spot, you know? It's like Split
Yeah, yeah,
Fiction. When we pay 70 for Split Fiction, you know? That's
yeah,
that's a tough sell.
yeah. Well, their advantage is it's 35 for each of us.
Right.
It's not 70 for both of us.
Mhm.
Because it's hard to, I guess, measure how much you value like your experience, right? Because it's subjective for everyone. If you enjoyed the experience of that game, can you really add a dollar value to that? Because that could be completely different for someone else that played the game. Someone could really like linear games, but for whatever reason, they didn't connect with that game and the story, and that dollar value is completely different. So that's a hard part. Like, how do you measure that for everyone? Because everyone's different. And the thing is about increasing, games from $70 to $80. All right, if you're gonna do that, you need to add something into it of value, and it has to be, either something brand new, something that's worth it, not like a one time thing that they just add. If you're increasing that price point, this has to be something that's implemented throughout the game. It can't feel like, oh yeah, you paid the 10 extra dollars and you get this one little thing in the game and then you just move on to the rest of the game.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think you know, whether you can recommend a game or not, I mean, it's all personal preference, of course. I look at at Call of Duty. I mean, there's times where I don't play that game for a while, and then like over the past week, since I've been out of school, like I've been playing it again, and I've been loving it. I'll go and play for 2 or 3 hours, and that game just out out of time that I've put into it, it's paid off. You
Mhm.
know. Because it's multiplayer, it's an easy, accessible game. But yeah, I look to my friends who have went and bought MW or any of the like MW3, MW2. They bought the recent CODs or like with this one, Black Ops 7. They barely play it. I'm like, yeah, you got screwed. Like you would not recommend that game at all.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I'd say like the overall experience, whether it's good or not, like, can you justify that as like, yeah, it's a good game. It is worth purchasing, and if it's in like the 50 to $70 range, I think that's fine. I wouldn't steer anybody away from buying 007 First Light, but I would ask them like, well, what kind of games do you like? The same with Call of Duty, you
Mhm.
know. If you're not someone that's big into FPSs, I'm like, well, yeah, of course, like don't buy that game. Um, but now I think it's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening with these game prices. I think GTA set, like, going back with them, I think they set a precedent that they can get away with it and that people will pay that and try to justify it. Um, but do believe that a lot of these developers understand that this really is an exception to the rule and that it's going to probably stay like this for a while. But I do want to even fold in like the other main point I was talking about because this kind of goes against what I just said, saying that it should stay at 70. Um, is Sony went and announced, I think they from the time of doing this, they must have done this like 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago. They said in 2028, they're done making discs. It's over.
Oh, interesting.
That's it. So
That's cost savings.
we can assume, um, without a shadow of a doubt that the PS6 will not have a disk drive. It's not even gonna be an option. I would imagine that whatever's cooking up at Xbox, same thing, probably not gonna have a disk drive. Justin, I cannot fucking believe it that we have made it to the point where discs we are legit going to be 30 in
Yeah.
2028, and there's going to disc gaming is going to go extinct. Like,
Is this a,
they are not going to, and I should say they're not going to be making new games on discs anymore. Like you could still play, like all your old stuff on like, PS2 and 3, of course. Like they're not gonna get rid of that. But new titles that come out, they're only gonna be a digital download.
yeah, yeah.
Give me your thoughts.
So you're saying Sony, not the developers. Sony's only going to be making
Yes,
devices that are only uh, digital downloads,
correct.
which means every developer and publisher gives them no reason to make a disc version. They're probably going to follow what Rockstar did and create a physical version, a collector's edition or something with a code inside, and then you get like a steelbook or whatever.
Mhm,
I mean, what this is like our what was it before? Like the death of CDs.
mhm.
Like this is our version of it, or like the death of records, which all that stuff comes back around. This is a bit different because we don't own the rights to the games at all, anyways. But
Right.
I mean, look, I don't have a PS5 physical copy of any game. I have the disc version because I was adamant about having it just because it was like that's the version, just in case if I ever wanted a disc. But I never bought one. Everything I own is digital, and we live in a digital age, so it only makes sense. What's annoying though is they're probably going to release a PS6, and it's going to be one version, and they're probably going to tier it based on amount of storage, which that's typical. But that means they're probably going to bump the digital version of like the PS5. I think started at $500, $400 or $500, and then the disc version was $100 more. Now they're just going to bump up that version that was digital up to what the disc was. So that's going to be the base. That's annoying. The no physical copies, I think that's just the way it's going to be for the rest of the world. We hold so much stuff just on our phones. Everything's digital now. So it sucks for collectors because that probably means a lot of developers aren't going to make just physical copies anymore. Like, what's the reason? They're really going to look at the numbers and see how many people are actually buying these collector edition items. And if not, they're going to save that money and just put it towards the game.
And the other thing related to like the price with these games is that they're obviously going to be saving massive amounts of money on this where they don't have to have any places that are going to be printing discs and having to make all this and ship them out where it's just going to be codes now. Um, People are saying to that too. They're like, okay, well, if games are going to be $70, they better fucking stay $70 because you're getting rid of a huge part that of gaming, like having to print out all these discs and ship them everywhere and having to give percentage of them to stores or paying stores to be able to have them like GameStop or Best Buy. Now the fact that that's going to be all gone, um, I think it would be insane to see a price increase on games anytime soon because this has just been a huge part of it forever. And I also think too, it's weird that like I don't really know how some of these game companies are they're even going to be able to stay afloat. Like how is Best Buy going to be able to have like games or used games? Because used games isn't going to be a thing anymore, right? Like
Mhm.
once you go and use your digital code, that's it. You
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
just go and give that to anybody else. Um, and is that what stores are just going to be now? Is when you go to a GameStop, if they're going to be around then, it's just going to be empty cases. There's nothing in there. And I think it's just it's weird to see it actually happen, but I do agree with you. Like you and me, we're way on the digital side. We've been like that for so long. I don't really buy any games physically anymore, and I'm sure probably most people listening to this don't either. um, but it does raise questions and concerns about a point you brought up earlier regarding not owning games, saying that we don't own games anyway, which is true. Like we're just buying the rights to own the license for however long they want us to. um, Now the fact that you can't even buy a disc, that's the only way. Like you don't own these games,
Mhm.
and that's where it gets a little scary for me. Is like the fact that you're never going to own any of these games. They could just do whatever they want with the titles and licensure of these games and take them away at any point, and that's a real concern.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's just a bigger issue, just in general, because I it doesn't impact just gaming. I mean, I feel like there's been a problem in the music industry for so long. I mean, Spotify, Apple Music, all these uh, providers, right? They don't own any of these songs. um, and that's why people are going back to records now, or like buying CDs and having the physical discs, so then they could play like whatever album, whatever songs that they want. I mean, Spotify realistically, like uh I'm trying to if Taylor Swift was like, I don't want any of my songs on Spotify, I'm sure her label could do that
Hmm.
and only be Apple exclusive. Easily could do that. When you buy her CD or record, it doesn't matter. You'll just always have a physical copy. Gaming, it's a bit different because if you buy a single player game, right? You can still play that game. But if you buy a game that has it's all online, now that's different. Even if that game's super old and you own a physical copy, that server, they could just shut down anytime they want. And then you have no online capability. You can play the single player game at some point. But um, the used game thing, to your point, I think I mean, that's just going to be extinct. It's not going to be possible to buy used games. Companies like Best Buy, they won't have any problems because they're not just a gaming store, right? Like they sell electronics, so I don't think it really impacts them that much. But like GameStop, they're probably going to die. Legitimately, there is honestly no reason to have a GameStop open at any point in the next like 5, 10 years because there's going to be that slight transition, right? Of right now, those stores are still alive because parents have no idea how to go online and buy games or like how to go buy like Fortnite coins and shit like that. And they all go into a store still and look for the little Fortnite card. Like here's 10,000 coins or whatever. Um, and then they go to the cash register, pay for that physical card, and they give it to their kid. I think that's what's keeping these stores like afloat right now. Because if little Timmy tells his mom and dad, "Hey, I want GTA 6," like in their head, they're thinking, "Oh, let me just go to the store, run to the store and buy it." They're not going to go sign onto his account and just download the game for him. So I think that part's gonna go away eventually because of like our age group. When we're all like older and we have kids and stuff, yeah, we can just go online and like download everything, and we're already moving towards that anyways.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird. I don't know. I felt conflicted when I heard that news. Part of me was not bothered at all because I just assumed like, well, of course that's the way we're going, and this doesn't really impact me as a player because that's how I buy most of my games. But yeah, the real talk with this is going to be, not in 2028, but like the subsequent years afterwards, how this is going to affect, game ownership, or probably talks that are going to be leading up to this because yeah, there are servers of games that, just they can get shut down at any time. And that money that you paid for that game is now worthless. That game does not exist anymore, or there is nothing that you can access with it. I was talking to one of the guys in the Discord. I had this game. People could shit on me listening to it. I don't care. Lawnmower Sim. Game's awesome. I was playing this game like, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago or so because it was a free game. And I can't remember if it was a PlayStation Plus game or if it was one that was like, just in the catalog of games that I had for my tier subscription. But I went to go and play it again over, I think it was the past week. I went to go and re-download it and I couldn't download it. And it said that I didn't own the game anymore. So I called PlayStation and they had told me because that game was part of like their rotation of games that they'd had at the time. But because that expired and it's gone now, it's not on my downloads anymore. They're like, you have to go and repurchase it.
Mhm.
But I didn't technically purchase it when I first got it. I got it for free
Yeah, yeah. Well,
because it's
exactly. So it's for you, it's whatever. It's not a problem. But for people that actually bought the game, it's like they bought the game and it's gone.
yeah. Well, and for me too, it's like, I pay for this subscription for a reason to get access to games like this. So then when I bought it, I download it for free. I'm like, well, yeah, that's what I pay for. I pay to have extra free games here. Yeah, they're not like AAA games. We're talking Lawnmower Sim, like fuck's sake.
Mhm.
But when I go to download it again, they're like, oh yeah, you're all set. No, we don't have that anymore. Sorry. Now you have to go buy it. It's like, well, why do I even have this subscription then if they can
Mhm.
just again at will pull these games out or make those decisions? Well, yeah, this game is part of this like, this tier subscription. And I've seen this with some games that are on the classics playlist. Same thing. It's like they'll go and rotate some games out there and then they're just like you can't play them anymore. If you want to go and play them, you have to wait for them to put it into the rotation, or if you want, you don't have that tier anymore. Now you have to buy that game.
Mhm.
Like that's where for me, it's a real problem because I've never really seen that before where they can just pull games like that,
Mhm.
at free will. And I had this
Yeah.
with the GTA trilogy a while ago too. Same kind of deal.
Yeah, and I mean, this is just the whole. I have no idea what goes into it, but the licensing, right? All this stuff, and that you and I are, it's way above us. On
Hmm.
it, it's with Sony and the developers and how what games they can like license essentially. Um, but that stuff like we have no control over. That's what sucks. Where
Hmm.
again, it's like the music thing. If you have a physical copy of an album, you can play it anytime you want. It's not going to be taken away. Gaming, it's so different. Even if you have a physical copy and it's like the part of it is an online game, that can just be taken away from you because you have no control of
Hmm.
it. I mean, single player you can still play, but I mean, to what extent, and especially too nowadays where a lot of single player games do live on an actual server. I mean, if they're on a server and that server decides to be shut down, you're out of luck. The game's worthless.
You're telling me we could never potentially get the chance to play the or not MW3, Jesus Christ, the Black Ops 7 campaign again? Like, that's one of those situations, though, I mean, that would be a good thing for the sake of that campaign. But that is like, to your point, yeah, that game that you need to have a connection to play that, like an online connection. So that whole game, if 10, 15 years from now, who knows? They just call it quits on the servers for that game. I don't think that's realistic, but at any point that could happen. And that game's just gone. You can't play it anymore because they decided to pull the plug. It's not like, say, I don't know, Black Ops 2, for example, or like any of the older CODs there. If they shut down those multiplayer servers, yeah, that sucks. But those games do have other things that are non-online features that you could just go and play. Like you still have the World of War campaign or zombies. You don't need online to play those.
Yeah, yeah. All right, you're taking the power away from the player at that
Mhm.
point. So, and which is why GameStop's going to die. I mean, that was
Yeah.
their slogan, power of the player.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all going to be taken away, and then GameStop's going to be shut down. I mean, I don't see a world where GameStop can survive if every developer and um, Sony, Xbox, I mean PC's all digital, like they just move to a fully digital world. Unless GameStop decides to pivot to something else, it can't just be, oh yeah, here's a digital code. Then they're just gonna die. Because what's the point of a digital code? Because you can just go online and get a digital code. You don't need to go into a store.
Yeah, and the other thing for me is when it comes to games with like pre-orders or anything like that, now I just don't understand what the point of it is because these games there's there's no is there ever going to be a like a supply and a demand for these games or certain parts of them? Because you could just go and download these codes whenever, you know. I don't really understand where the exclusivity is going to lie in this stuff unless it comes down to like a timeline where they lock all of this stuff. Um but it just I don't know. There's two sides to how people feel about it. The camp that thinks this is the end of the, like it is the end of an era. I mean, I think both sides agree on that, but it's just a natural progression of gaming, or people are saying that this is, the sign of the beginning of the end. For rights to the gamer and yeah, power to the player. And I don't know. I find the whole thing interesting. I just think it's wild that they went and put that out, especially too after Sony's been all cozy with GTA on this. As of
Mhm.
like, I'm sure you've seen that too. Maybe like Sony is, you go on your like PlayStation app and everything is GTA branded. They're saying that that's the definitive way to experience the game, not Xbox. And that
Mhm.
came out after they're like, yeah, there's going to be no disc of this game. People are like, what the fuck? And then
Mhm.
Sony puts out a couple days later, you know what? We're going to double down in 2028. We're done with discs.
Mhm.
Um, I think it was just a crazy moment, and it's crazy to see that we witnessed it. Where yeah, they're officially killing off discs.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is a huge shift. It's a big change, right? I mean, people like you and I mean, it is what it is, right? You just got to evolve and move on and accept it. I guarantee you, the students that you have, they don't give a shit. It's like, okay, cool. But that's the path forward. I mean, we're moving into a Black Mirror episode at this point. I mean, in terms of everything being digital. But I mean, yeah, we can choose to be the grumpy old people that are like, I want my papers. I want my physical papers
Hmm.
instead of everything online, right? I mean, you see that with a bunch of other companies where they want to go completely digital. Use a website. We don't want to mail you stuff because it costs extra money and we shouldn't have to mail you like here a 20-page document of what the updated policy is where you can look at the updated policy in your email and it takes 2 seconds. um, and old grumpy people care about that stuff, and it's kind of the same thing with us. I mean, you and I, it's end of an era, but we've already adopted it. We've already been completely digital. So I think it's going to be a change. I don't think we're going to feel it that much, to be honest. But I do wonder about the collectors and stuff. What's actually, how much are they actually impacting the sales of these games? Like, who's really buying all these collector editions and physical material items?
Yeah, and for the people that do collect that, does this deter them from that? You
Mhm.
know, if there is some steelbook version of GTA 6 that's coming out, or some, like more interesting version of it, do they even care that there is no actual disc for these games, or is it just the fact that yeah, there is some sort of exclusive purchase that could be attached to it that's really all they care about? I think like Black Ops 1 with the RC car, you know, I don't think people care too much to have the actual case with the disc in it when you've got the RC car, you
Mhm.
know. But maybe there are some people who do. I'm not too sure, but yeah, it's just another part of physical media that's going away. And I mean, gaming's always been this way, so to officially see it come to an end in 2 years, is it's tough to see. It's sad to see, but it's just a natural progression. I can't really say that I'm shocked, to what your point is too. And I would only imagine that probably within the next year or so, we're going to see Nintendo doing the same thing. And yeah, I could guarantee. Oh, yeah, guarantees the 1,000%. Yeah, the next gen consoles are not going to have disk drives. Um, I just hope that when we download this stuff, I mean, they need to have massive storage on these hard drives because, and like the whole like regarding rates of copying or downloading games, like that's the one plus of having a disc is when you plug that or you go and put a disc in, you don't have to worry about copying and all this. It's just instant, you
Mm,
know. Um, so I hope on the tech side they're able to kind of match this. Like the fact that you don't have that, the speeds need to get a little bit quicker because it's gonna be a problem.
Oh yeah, and the other problem you mentioned, the storage. I mean, right now we're going through like a huge crisis with storage because all these
Yeah.
data centers. We're not even gonna go into that because that's a whole separate podcast if we wanted to,
Yeah.
because that involves politics. That honestly, like yeah, like we need bigger, way more storage in these consoles for these games. To be honest, I don't think we're getting that. I think we're getting the 500 gigs, 1 terabyte, and maybe two if we're lucky. And I don't think so. I think it's going to be 500 and a terabyte. That's it. And I mean, if you think about back in the day, that's insane. That's so much storage. But games nowadays, 5 games, you're filling up like a terabyte, to be honest.
Oh, easy.
So 500, again, older people, when your little kid is asking you like, hey, I want the PS6, you see a console that's 500, you see another same console for 750. Which one are you going to get? The cheaper one. It's 500 less gigs, but here you go. And then, little Timmy downloads 2 3 games maxed out. Like he,
Right.
he has to delete something. Um, it's like the back in the day when they did that with the Xbox. I want to say it was a 360. Yeah, it was either a 360 or the one. I want to say it was a 360, but they sold Xboxes that were 5 gigabytes, five
Yeah.
gigabytes, and parents would go in, buy it, and uh, their kids are like, "Why can't I play this one game? Because it's more than 5 gigs. You needed to buy like an external hard drive just to hold your games." Which,
Right.
see, I see that as just a cash grab. Like you're preying on people that aren't educated in consoles and just like tech in general. Like they're just naive. They don't know. You see an Xbox, like, whoa, why is this Xbox only $100 when you see the other Xbox, it's 300.
Yeah. And they're going to continue to prey on those people going forward with the next gen consoles, because the other thing that I wanted to close on this, which I think is another big part for me, is for the people who know, like, I don't really understand what's PlayStation's selling point after this. If they're going to go fully digital, like what's really keeping people on PlayStations and like with Sony as like, and not just to go and save up and get a PC, because Steam being fully digital, I mean the Steam library is just PlayStation cannot compete. It's like not even remotely a comparison. And I guess they're going to really hold on to their exclusives, and same thing with Xbox. Like that's what they're going to have as their main thing. Um but I think it's a really tough sell when you're not going to have like a physical side to your games anymore, which yeah, we don't buy, but some people, I'm sure there obviously for, the past number of years there's been a good amount of people that still bought them. That's why they were able to justify keeping them. Um, but I would assume that there's going to be a lot of people that just don't really see the point of PlayStation anymore. As games are going to be getting bigger, they may not be like being able to meet the consumer with regards to storage. And yeah, you're going to still get game like or get a console that's only a terabyte. And if all the games are online and they don't really have a vast selection of it, I think a lot of people would just and probably be better off just going and biting the bullet and getting a PC and going that route. Um, which I mean, I don't know what they're going to do to counteract that. They obviously have to know this is a problem.
Mhm.
And I don't know what their next move is going to be to keep people on PlayStation, other
Yeah,
than just those who are like they don't know any better and they're just gonna be like, oh yeah, whatever. Like we'll just buy it. It's at the store, easy.
yeah, and I think, I mean, right now, I think those are the only options. I mean, it's they have to have elite exclusives to keep people on PlayStation and Xbox. And regardless, like consoles are going to be cheaper than PCs. Parents aren't going to go out and buy, a $1,500 PC, not knowing like anything about this PC and just giving it to their kid. You know, $500 looks or $600 looks a lot better than 1,500, and you get to play games or whatever. Yeah, they're pre-built PCs and stuff now, but I mean, if you're a parent, you probably just want a link to whatever your kid wants, and all right, here you go. Here's a $1,500 PC. Here are all the specs. They have no idea what like any of this stuff is unless you're in it and you like find that stuff interesting. Most parents just want to go to a store or go on Amazon. Oh, here's a PS5. Click buy. You know, this PS5. Oh, you can play Call of Duty on this for $600, but you can also play Call of Duty on a PC for 1,500. Why would you get a PC? That's what they're thinking in their head. You know.
Right.
Um, so I would say those are the advantages at the exclusives and the price point. The price point will always be less than a PC, especially right now.
Well, that's I think going to be the main question that's going to be answered as time goes on, because I do agree the price point is the main thing, but the way things are trending right now, the price point is not going to be as big of a gap as it's normally been. You know, I mean, look, you can see like PS5 Pros are like almost $1,000,
Mhm.
which is just disgusting. You know, and to think that the PS6 it could potentially base be $800. You know, I mean that's a very realistic situation, which that becomes pretty bad. And then oh yeah, you want to get like the pro version of it if they end up offering that down the line. When you start getting really close to PC levels, or a lot closer than it's been in the past, I think that's where it's a real problem. And Xbox has been pushing like the idea or narrative that they're going to try to offer stuff that's a lot more competitive in price, which is the right move. If you're going to have a lot of cons for like a gamer, the one thing that you're always going to hold over consumers and people will go to is the price point. You
Mhm.
know, if they're able to stay in that $500 to $700 range, I think they're good. If you start going above that for your base level stuff, I think that's when it becomes a bit more difficult of a choice to make.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that also depends on the price of PCs. I mean,
Yes.
if the price of consoles are going to go up, PCs are going to go up too. So I mean, there's there's still going to be that gap. Yeah, spending over $1,000 like on a console is insane, but spending $1,000 on a console versus now a $2,000 PC, what used to be 1,500, you're still saving $1,000. And I think most people, and especially parents, they're gonna just go with the cheaper version. You know, I mean, um, not every spending over $1,000 on any hobby, that's a lot of money, a ton of money.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, and I don't think that's gonna change for a while because people like you and I that actually we game, we follow gaming and stuff. We get it. We're already moving towards these trends, and if Sony and Xbox want to hang on to their consoles and compete with PC players, they need exclusives. And I think they understand that. And that's just them working with their developers and they have to create fantastic games. I mean, if you're telling me that, again, Subnautica 2, I'm hyped for that game. If that game is only on Xbox, that is a game that will push me to just get an Xbox just to play it.
100%.
Like, I'm not going to buy an Xbox brand new. I'll probably look on, for a used one or something like that. But now Xbox already caught me as a customer because
Yeah.
you create a game that good. Like, could you imagine if Sony got the rights to GTA? That is a Sony exclusive or a PlayStation exclusive, GTA 6.
Mhm.
I mean, that would be insane.
And they're trying to push that narrative, just saying that it's going to be like the best way, the definitive way to experience
Mhm.
the game is on PlayStation, you know. um and to our earlier episodes regarding a console war, I can definitely see it heating up now, and especially with the recent news and the recent blunders that PlayStation's had with this. I mean, again, it is a reality, but people don't like it. People
Mhm.
just don't like hearing it. They don't want to see it. They don't want to deal with it. Um, and yeah, it is another sad reality too that gaming, Justin, is just getting expensive. It's
Mhm.
getting crazy, and I do see it too. If they end up scaling together, then we're all screwed. you know,
Yeah, yeah.
if PCs start going up, and same thing with consoles, um, it's just going to be very difficult. And yeah, it's going to become an even more expensive hobby. But I'm hoping that if things do go digital, I'm hoping that game prices stay kind of where they're at for quite a while, because I don't see any reason for them to be going higher than that. Um, GTA, we'll go and see what happens with the news as we get more info regarding that $80 version, if it's just fugazi nonsense or if it's like actually a viable version of the game. But yeah, that was the two main things that happened. So you're gone for like 1 week, and then this is all the shit that goes down, you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah, I mean, that's usually what happens with like you leave for a week, you go away, and all the news just
Yeah,
starts
news is
dropping.
slow, and then all of
It
a
just
sudden
keeps
it's like it goes crazy.
yeah, everything always happens when you go away. And yeah, I mean, to close off my you know remarks about all this stuff, I think digital is just a way to move forward. It is what it is. People may hate it, and like yeah, it does suck to see not having discs, but I mean, I haven't had a disc in years at this point, so
Yeah.
I can't really be upset too much about it because I'm part of the problem, I guess, right? Like I just download everything. It's so much more convenient. It's not taking up like a bunch of space like in the house, just all these piles of games. It's very nostalgic to have all that stuff, but it saves me a bunch of space.
Yeah.
Sony, Xbox, I think they can they can compete with PC if they have exclusives. That's like the main thing. They have to nail down exclusives on both of their ends. And, if that brings back a console war, then so be it. I know Asha, the CEO of Xbox, she's made a statement of saying that she wants Xbox to be the leading, I want to say, gaming industry in the gaming industry in the next 3 years. Which bold statement, but I love it because they were the home like entertainment. That's what they were. They tried to be like the all-in-one home entertainment everything when it was just gaming beforehand. Now it seems like she's very much pushing. We are a gaming company. Let's stick to gaming and make gaming you know great because they own so many developers already. Let's just make very exclusive games. And Sony, they need to do the same thing too. I mean, did after all the news from Xbox, Sony needs to compete as well. So maybe a big console war will be back again. And PCs they're always there. They're just in the background. Everybody's slowly transitioning to PC. Um, not many people now, kids nowadays, like they don't want consoles. They want to jump straight to PC.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you said too, and I also will add that um regarding digital being the future. Yeah, this conversation regarding ownership of games, that's going to be something that I'm sure in the coming months and years leading up to that is going to be discussed, and I'm definitely a proponent of that. I hope that this whole like the legality or ownership or licensure with games gets a bit cleared up, because you don't want to have any problems with ownership of a game when you're paying $70.
Mhm.
And I'd also add too that regarding the console war, I hope we benefit from it. I hope that these both these companies end up making good games and we get a lot of just good development and good content from them. Because at the end of the day, that's all we really want. It's like you just don't want a bunch of slop that's going to be $70. I want new stuff to be coming out, and I hope that the war and the pressure that both Xbox and Sony are under, or Microsoft, whatever. I hope that we get some good products out of it and we end up benefiting. But
Yeah.
only time will tell. We
Yeah,
shall see.
we won't know. But the other big thing that we can end off is Major 4 with Optic winning. And I'm going to say
Yes,
it.
indeed.
I said it when we went to Major 1 and like Major 2. It is so much better to peak late in the season than peak early, because General Mates won Major 1. They came in third at their own event, which I will say that's pretty insane. Good for them. But Optic did this last year too, and we know what happened with that.
Yes.
You know, they won Major 4, then they won Champs, and then they won EWC. So it pays off to peak at the end.
Yeah. Have you watched any of the matches yet?
Literally nothing.
Oh,
I watched day 1
okay.
because that was the day that we were texting.
Yeah.
Because I was flying out that day. But literally, I haven't seen anything. I've seen some videos of the crowds and stuff, and it looks insane. But actual matches, I haven't seen anything.
Yeah. Now, so I won't spoil too much. I mean, it was an amazing event. I think for people that made it this far, we appreciate it. People who are watch it are pretty avid watchers of the CDL. It was a spectacular event. I think it was branded as like the biggest event that Call of Duty's ever had. The trophy, insane.
Oh, trophy's insane. Yeah,
Oh,
that's a trophy.
Yeah, the announcer, the guy who was doing all the matches, he was insane.
Yeah,
The pyro,
the walkouts, like
yeah,
the rise, and I saw the finals of them announcing the players, and they're just coming out of the stage. I'm like, yeah, that's an event.
yeah. It definitely set a new level for how matches should be done. And I saw Hex, he said that like outright. He's like, yeah, Gotaga and Gentlemates, they definitely set a new bar. He's like, got my stupid ass trophies there, like all the stuff.
Yeah.
They realize that these guys put in so much effort and
Mhm.
so much money into this. I mean, even seeing the MVP award that was given out to Dashy, I mean, it looked like a fucking prestige icon. It was just insane. And I saw Ben Nassim. I'm pretty sure he said that the people that make that are the same people who make like medals for the army in France, like the same company, whoever made it, which is sick. But it just once again showing that the attention to detail that was done for this major was it was evident. It was a really, really good event. And yeah, Optic. I remember asking you weren't worried about him. You're just like, yeah, they had a bad online bit, like in the Major 4 or Split 4, and they looked great. Yeah, they had, they had their ups and downs in that. I think it was the winners finals, and then this is where the whole discussion, which we're not going to talk about, but the whole format issue with winners finals not being worth it at all, and Optic has gone through winners every single time, and they've lost every time. The one time that they lose and they go down to losers finals, they end up closing it out.
They're
I think
hot.
they kind of, I think they
Ribs.
just kind of showed everybody that like, yes, this is definitely a problem with the format. And yeah, I don't know what they're going to end up doing down the line for it, but the main thing that I've gathered from this is that Champs is going to be insane. Like I can't wait. I'm happy Optic looks this good because the fact that they could potentially go back to back to back in Champs is, I mean, if we witness
never
that, bro,
happened.
if we witness that,
Yeah.
that will be crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's never happened before. So I mean, again, it's so much better to peak later into the season than early. And in terms of like the overall atmosphere of Major 4, I did see that the European fans are just crazy. I mean, they are very passionate, and it's not just COD; it's just sports in general. Like they have a very strong fan base, and every single sport. They're very passionate. And it's funny that seeing COD, a major like that, where like other events, like other esports, that is standard. Like they are treated like they're gods, they're professionals, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was funny seeing Gentlemates, you know, they obviously, it's their major, they get the insane walkout, like they debut the walkout. And they rise out of the stage, and Joe DeC is just like
Yeah,
clapping.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
dude, I get like I can't take it seriously because it's so funny because that's how they are. But then you see Sib, and he's just
Bro,
so
Sib was
dude,
killing me.
he's stone cold, and I'm like that's how other other esports are. They're
Yeah,
strictly professionals. They're not like
yeah.
having fun like Joe. They're stone cold, which I think there's something to say, right? All the personalities build the COD community, so it's funny to see. But I just can't take it seriously when like it's just epic entrance and Joe's just just
And the other
clapping on stage, and the other guys are just stone cold.
and then the other side of it too is people are like, "Bro, you're playing for like your home country,
Mhm.
and they want the love. Like, show it to them. Like
Yeah, yeah,
to
exactly.
Sib, they're like, "Bro, you don't need to be so
Yeah,
tough."
yeah. But and that's how the other esports are. You
Right.
know, like they're there to lock in. They're trying to win and take this home for their home stage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's just funny to see, like the different personalities. Like when Optic walked out, right? They're all pretty much they're smiling and stuff, but they're ready to go.
But hearing the European fans boo them
Oh yeah,
and saying
that
like,
was
"Fuck
sick.
you, Optic," that was oh, it
They
was
showed
so
out.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was obviously a massive part of it too. It's just like the fan base that was there. There were so many people there. I want to say on the last day there was like 18,000 people there.
Mhm.
Which all the shots that they've shown from it, I mean, if you just go on Twitter, you can see a whole bunch of photos from it. It really just doesn't seem real as to how many people were there. Um, and yeah, there was a lot of cheese going on. There was a lot of shouting and yelling during S&D and during all the stuff. Which I mean, bro, what are you gonna do about that? It is what
Mhm.
it is. Um, but it was a great event to watch. Just online, it was really really good to watch. I can't even imagine what it was like to be in that stadium watching the event live. It had to have been unreal. And
Mhm.
for Optic to win any event all year, that's like definitely the one event that you'd want to win. Major Ford, I mean, minus champs in EWC, that event being the biggest that COD's ever had. The trophy's insane. The crowd's insane. Yeah, so it was definitely great to see Optic finally close it out. And like you said, peak here right at the end of the regular season.
Yeah, and the European fans, I mean, they are very loyal to their team, so I
Yes.
respect it. That's how uh, the United States should be. You gotta cheer for your team, even though they're ass. You
Yeah,
stick with your team, and that's what they did. I mean, Gentleman's finished third, which is like that's great.
it was
I mean,
great.
I wouldn't have expected them to finish third, but third at their major like that's pretty good. I mean, and you lost out to Thieves and Optic. I mean, it's not like you lost to Surge. Yeah,
Yeah.
Miami.
Right, right. Yeah, and the other thing too that I saw Nameless point out after the fact was that the fans that like just very respectful
Mhm.
um like when other teams ended up winning, like when Optic won or when Thieves won, they all stayed for one, which is better than, some fans that we
That's
saw.
a culture thing.
Yeah,
Like I mean,
you know.
in the World Cup, same thing. I've always said it when the Europeans like they came to America. We're hosting a bunch of World Cup games. They love to party and have fun, but there's no violence. Like
Right.
people are just having fun and everyone's like enjoying their time. Yeah, you're getting drunk, whatever, and you're cheering, you're being loud, but no one's getting fucking stabbed and like riots are happening. So how can the Europeans do that and the fucking people in America like we can't do that? Like there has to be
Right.
some violence involved for whatever reason. Like um when the New York Knicks won the NBA championship, fucking New York nearly burned down because these people are like destroying school buses, burning down cars and shit. And then Scotland won at Gillette Stadium, and these guys are fucking like putting traffic cones on top of statues because it's like part of their tradition, and everyone was just laughing and having fun. Like these are harmless things. You're fucking destroying your city
Right.
and burning it down like that. I'll just never understand that. I don't understand how it's just a culture thing, right? They are way more respectful towards each other and like their country. They are proud of their country. And it's funny, we're talking about this on the 250th year of like, you want to be proud of your country, but we want to like cause a bunch of violence for whatever reason.
Right. Something that we could definitely take from them for
Yeah.
sure.
We
Because
won't because we're stubborn.
no, of course not.
Yeah.
No, but it was very evident that the French fans were like that. You could see the respect that they had for all the other teams. Even if they, like when Optic went and knocked out Gentlemates, you could still see that people were respecting them and
Mhm.
applauding them and not really saying a whole bunch of horrific stuff to any of the players or family. Which is all just good normal stuff that you could get from it. So I'm glad that there wasn't anything like that would ruin this major, because overall there was pretty much no flaws with it. It was a perfect major, from start to end. The result, us being Optic fans, yeah, it was definitely great. It was good too, just because it is another top team that hasn't won yet, and they've come so close. And now the next championship ahead is we got champs.
Mhm.
I think it's going to be in 2 weeks. I think from the time of doing this, it might just be 1 week. I forget
Yeah,
exactly. I have
I
to
want to say
look.
it's 1 week. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Um, there's roster changes that have happened that are more than likely going to happen. We'll talk about that next episode,
Mhm.
because it has gotten crazy. And yeah, it's going to be a great event. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope that we can keep riding the high after Major Four here, and that Champs is, it's not going to be as insane regarding the crowd and everything, but I hope that the games themselves are just as exciting.
Yeah. Oh, so Champs is in Vegas this year.
Yes.
We're gonna see. Oh no, not Vegas. It's gonna be in. Oh no, yeah, Vegas. Vegas, yeah. And FaZe is technically hosting it, I guess.
Mhm.
But we're gonna see the American fans in fucking Vegas versus the Europeans. We'll see what happens. There's gonna be fucking shit that breaks. There's gonna be like fights out in Vegas, and these Europeans are just getting drunk and having a fun time.
Yeah, it's gonna be whack.
Yeah, yeah.
But
And so what we can hope for is the games.
yeah, that's all we can
The
hope for.
games
Yeah.
will be good. I mean, at this point, right? Like Optics always a favorite. Thieves is always a favorite. FaZe, I mean, yeah, they're hosting. They're always going to be a favorite. I mean, it'll be good. And then the Black Ops 7 season is like officially over after that. I mean, the regular season's over, but yeah, once Champs is done, we're on to MW4.
Yeah, we've only got I guess you would throw EWC in there,
Yeah,
which is a bit later. Yeah,
yeah.
kind of
That's not.
it's weird
I
weird
wouldn't.
timing, but I know what you feel. I feel the same way.
Yeah, EWC isn't technically part of the
No.
current season, so
It's at a weird time for sure. But
yeah,
we're coming to the end here with Black Ops 7 when it comes to competitive. So we're going to be looking forward to it for sure. But again, if you haven't watched anything from Major 4, like whether CDL stuff is not really your thing, I would definitely recommend going and watching a couple clips from it. Just seeing the crowd and the reactions with it, because yeah, it was phenomenal. And so we were talking about before regarding GTA and with Sony, do let us know down in the comments, what do you think about the GTA price, 80 versus $100? You're going to be buying the 80 or the $100? And then, do you give a shit about discs going away? Are you like us where you're just exclusively digital? Do you think this is going to be a bigger problem? Do let us know on YouTube. We'll have the question put down below, because a lot of good things to be discussing. And I like hearing what people say. If you think that we're crazy, let us know. Go to the Discord. Let us know. I had a good conversation with a couple of the guys in there who we did not agree, at first, but it's like, that's the whole point of it. We're just having a civil conversation. I like to hear what people say about all this stuff, because it is just us two. You and I think a lot alike on most things. So getting someone who feels differently is always interesting, a different perspective.
yeah, it's always a good
Yeah.
conversation, and that's the whole point, guys. We're
It's
all
the whole,
gamers.
yep. We're all in this together.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that that just about does it though. So again, everybody, we appreciate you making it this far. But to those questions, yeah, do let us know what you think down in comments on YouTube. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe, and of course, anchor.fm/COD Casuals, since we're there on all platforms. Do be showing the support and the love over there. Of course, to the Instagram and to the TikTok, be sure to give us a follow over there. We post the shorts regularly. We appreciate the support over there. 5 stars as always. And then do give us a follow since we're trying to hit our 1,000 mark. We need the support. We appreciate it. So everyone that does follow us, thank you very much. If not, get on it. And then finally, the Discord, as always, you want to be part of the conversation, Call of Duty or anything beyond that, be sure to go and join up in that. We're in there daily and a whole bunch of other people as well. And we always appreciate the conversation. And I think that just about does it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So again, everyone, thank you for listening to this episode number 281 of the COD Casuals podcast. We're your host, Mike.
I'm Justin.
And we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy, everybody.
See ya.